Welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are going to see agent flow patterns. We already see what is an agent, which kind of agent we have, what is the difference between agents and automation, and also how the data flow on N8N. But now we are going to see a couple patterns to design AI agents scalable. But what is that? What is agent flow pattern? It is not a specific workflow that we always have to do. It's a mindset that you have to think about it when you are designing AI agents. That's what is the reason, because always the people just want to copy and paste any template, because I don't know if you know, but on N8N you have tons of templates that you only can copy and paste. That's it. For example, that is a template below to me that I created a couple days ago. If someone can use it, just copy and paste it. But when you are designing your solution, you have to understand this template, because this kind of template is a good starting point, but you have to understand what is the best pattern for your solution. Let's start with the first pattern, change request pattern. It's a simple pattern that basically is a pipeline with a couple nodes. The data flows for each of the nodes, and we have a final result. We don't need any thinking, any actions in the flow. We only need execute a couple nodes, modify nodes, or maybe we can have action, but not about thinking about what will be the base action. It's a linear execution. Let's see this example quickly. This is a list of leads that we have. For example, here, let's say you have your form, and in your form you catch data about the user and the product, name, date, product, and message. And you want to qualify if the lead is hot or cold. But also you want to create some categories to know who is evaluating by your product or not. That is exactly this automation do, because in this point is automation. It's not an agent, but in sometimes you only need automation, as we saw a couple lessons ago. But let's do this together. Let's trigger or click trigger. Well, let's copy and paste. Let's do this together. Let's say you start with the click trigger. I just remove it from this flow. And now, when this is just a representation, the fire action could be a scheduled trigger, could be some listener, but for this example, it's just a click. Let's look for Google Sheets, and here get rows, and we have to look for which is the document, and also select the sheet. Let's test it. You always have to test after each connection. What is happening here? Okay, good. We have the list of elements or leads. As you remember, how is the item? In this point is only one item, but after that we have 20 items, and one of them is one of the elements of the list. And the execution will be the same for each of the elements. And now we have to create this guy basically decide what is a cold or hot lead and what is the categorization. But in this case, it's not an agent, it's just a model, a method model. It's like when you chat with ChatGPT, basically the same. And here we are going to see a couple settings. The model for this, I'm gonna pick a GPT-4o mini, and here we have different roles. The user, for example, you chatting with ChatGPT, that is the initial prompt, the initial input, and also we are going to set up a system prompt. That will be a common prompt for each of the requests. And here we are going to copy and paste my prompt. That is my mistake, because it's this. And let's see. Well, so important way to do this is list qualification prompt. We design what is the role, what is the task, and here we define the possible categories: browsing, evaluating, not interesting, request info, and urgent needs. And the task number 2 is determine if hot or not. Don't worry about it, you will have the entire workflow on the GitHub repo. But also we have to take a look to the user prompt. The user prompt is different for each of the elements. It's different for each of the items. But here, basically, we are setting. Let's do a couple together. Just to, let's say this. You only have to drag and drop message, drag and drop as well. And anything you need from the data, you can drag and drop. And also you can write down here something more. Okay, nice. Let's execute this now. Well, it's done. Let's see what is the final result. Oh, there is an issue here. We have to click or switch this option, the output content as a JSON, because if not, it will provide to me a string. Let's execute again. Let's take a look. How is the response? Now, nice. Is as we expected. Here we have content and the categorization and determine is hot or not. Okay, but now we are going to edit the data a little bit. We are going to drag and drop this, and this will be row number. This will be the lead name, and the same with the rest. I'm just going to copy and paste. It's the same that copy and paste any kind of text or file. And let's review. Okay, we have here how will be the response. Let's execute. Remember, always execute each step that you add, just to debug and validate that everything works as expected. Nice. We can see we have the categorized evaluating, but ready to push her hot. And now we want to fill a couple sheets about it. Let's see how we can do this. We create this switch, and let's say we want to evaluate what of them is hot. You just have to drag and drop this, assign a name, and this rename output will be so helpful because you will see this name here in this way. Okay, and also we want to know who is evaluating, because maybe if someone is evaluating, we are going to send a message. We are going to do only this, just to, and here we have to append row to the sheet. Let's execute how everything is going until here. We have to select what is that and what is the sheet as well. And here automatically detect what is the field that we have to, what is the column that we have to. Let's execute just to know here what is the data. Okay, nice. We have the response for each of them, and well, we want to store only the lead name, the date, the product, and the message. Now take a look. What is this? Is this hot leads? And now execute, and let's see what is the result. Nice. We have here all the categorization by hot leads on the sheet. It's just a representation. You can change this by database or whatever store you want to use. Well, here is the representation, and you will have the entire workflow on the GitHub. Now let's jump to the pattern number 2. It's a single agent. In the single agent, you have only one agent, because in some cases only one agent is pretty enough. And this agent will have different tools, memories, and chat models. This is a simple representation how you can do it. For example, this is an agent to help to the students, the university students, with some tasks. Basically, the agent have a database. It's not a database, but well, it's kind of a Google sheet with a list of the tasks, have connection to Wikipedia, to calculator, and as an extra, a Reddit research if it's needed. Let's take a look how does this work, how this works. Open a chat, and let's see all the execution. Clear execution here. Okay. Hey, can you let me which task, what that I have in the backlog. Okay, it's execution. We can see here the logs, what is happened. Okay, in the memory, basically we store the message, the input, the system message is generated by the agent, and also the formatting instruction. And here in the model is like any chat with ChatGPT, and we see what is the prompt, the input, and here the human and the system, the same that we saw with the OpenAI message, and the execution with the external tools. For example, here calls the Wikipedia task sheets and return all the pending tasks. Again, to the model, update the memory, and that's it. Here is the response. Here is the list of the tasks. Can you help me with the task number 8? Let's test the memory, because I don't want to say what is the task number 8. Executing. Oh, this one not so good, because call the API again. Maybe the memory is a little bit short. Yeah, it's pretty short. It's only 10.5 as a length of the window. We can increase if we want more memory, but here we have the result. What is the structure? Okay, nice. I don't know so much about this stuff, but well, let's get its correct answer. And can you let me know some stuff from forums about it? Let's test how is the execution. Well, here use the memory. It's looking for on Reddit. Waiting a little bit. Okay, nice. We have here some posts. Even provide the post link to me. Nice. It's a really good example about a single agent. A single agent does not is just for single task. It's just the pattern, because sometimes you always need only one agent. An agent is this node. This is the brain of the all agents. I wanna show you the entire prompt, because here I set up a different structure. As you can see here, I define role, context, and define the task. And here's so important, the tool. This will be so helpful, because sometimes, if not, can hallucinate what is the needed tool. The next pattern is multi-agent with gatekeeper. It's an evolution of the next pattern with more complex and multi-phase cases. It's not a multi-agent in itself. I mean, we use different agents, but it's not the same agents working in the same task, because we can break it down one big task in some chunks and some small tasks. That is basically we are going to do in this pattern. For this pattern and for the next, I haven't created any automation or AI agent. I just created a workflow to explain the concept of that, because it's a little bit more complicated, and we are going to working with this pattern and the rest during the course. But here is the case. We have an orchestrator agent, or as the boss coordinator, and this agent will connect and will delegate tasks for the rest of for other agents. For example, here we have the orchestrating agent, have a memory, a model, but as a tool has a connection with another workflow. That is a node that we can use when we can use another workflow to solve another problem. Click here, and here we have called N8N workflow tool. That is exactly what I did. I assigned a name, and something so cool is if we can implement an extra workflow in the same Canva. I have here, well, maybe you want to see how is the configuration. You have to look for the workflow, select the workflow, and that's it. And this is the name they say content creator agent. But here you can even call workflow outside of this Canva in another canvas. That's why we have here a list of canvas. But well, the point is, imagine something. Imagine that you are creating an agent to create YouTube shorts videos. You have to breaking down the all tasks, breaking down maybe in one for create the script, another one to evaluate the script, one for create images related with the script, and the last one to join. I don't think so the last one. I think another for join all this on one video, and the last one to publish the video on YouTube. All this you will have a different tools on agent. The last one is a multi-agent. Here is a little bit more complex, but as I told you before in another lessons, the multi-agents itself is not supported by N8N. Because why? Because we don't have any way. There is two features that we don't have in N8N. A loop, a evaluating loop or learning loop. That's mean return to another step after evaluation, and a shared memory. There is one hack that we can do is connect all the agents to the same memory. That's why in the representation I have a Reddit memory. But if you don't know what is Reddit or what is this stuff, it's basically a common store for all agents. And here is it's just a representation of the flow. For example, we have the market research agents, and tech agent, AI final forecast agent. We have all the team and provide a final result. Maybe we can have as well a final agents to catch all the insights and result the all agents and create the last insight or result. It's a use case, but it would be the way to create a multi-agents on N8N. Well, then we have 4 patterns, and the point of this lesson is create the mindset in your mind. Why? You have to understand which case use pattern 1, pattern 2, single agent, when a gatekeeper is needed, or a multi-agent, this kind of multi-agents on N8N. Or even you will have to create a mix of them. Use the number 1 for one step of the logic and combine with a single agent. But as a practice is now when you think about agents or automation of any cases or any problem or solution, try to break it down on different patterns and think what will be the best pattern to use on what are the best patterns to use. Now, in the next lesson, we are going to implement a couple patterns and dive deeper in some of the most common nodes.